Welcome to episode number 308 of the Marine Layer podcast. The Mariners defeat the Tigers in 15 innings, 3-2, and advance to the American League Championship Series. How about it? We'll talk all about it.
Reminder to you guys before we start the show, go over to our website, marinelayerpod.com, where you can find all of our episodes, audio and video. Go get your merch. We love seeing people wear the merch. And by the way, we got a special 20% off deal for a limited time on merch if you go and use code MarineLayer. Code MarineLayer. We love seeing people wear merch. It's such an awesome time to be wearing it and wearing it around the park and around the city. So go get yourself some merch. You can also check out our Patreon live show schedule. It's all over at marinelayerpod.com, and you can follow us all across social media at marinelayerpod.
Let's get it rolling.
The pitch from Acevedo. A drive deep to right field. Down the line. The Mariners win this game 2-1. The dream lives. They're going to the playoffs. 1-1 from Jansen. There you go. Left field. We got a tie ball game. Julio. Oh, baby, what a moment. Tie ball game at 7-7.
And we welcome you to this episode of the Marine Layer podcast, part of the Just Baseball Podcast Network. Recording here on Friday evening, October 10th. Lyle Goldstein, they have done it. They have slayed the dragon not once, but twice. And they are headed to the American League Championship Series. I never want to see another extra inning playoff game again. I'm done. It took them 17 extra innings in the last 3 years to score a run at home.
I never want to see an extra inning playoff game again. I never want to see Tarik Skubal again. And you know what? Get Kerry Carpenter off my TV forever. Ever. Oh my God. I can't believe we're sitting here doing this. I cannot believe we're sitting here and actually doing this. The Seattle Mariners are one of the last 4 teams standing in Major League Baseball. The Seattle Mariners are one of the last 4 teams standing.
I think everyone listening to this understands the paranoia that comes along with being a Mariners fan. As you watch in the 11th inning, as you watch in the 12th inning, the 13th inning, the 14th inning, where you see the Mariners try literally everything to score a run. They try to swing for the fences. They try to steal. They try to hit grounders. They try to hit fly balls. None of it worked. They faced good pitchers, they faced bums, and they could not fucking score a run. And I was losing my mind. I'm going to be honest to all of our listeners on here who want to hear us whether the Mariners win or lose. I have no idea how Lyle and I were going to get to this podcast and talk if they had lost that game. I'm not sure how I'd been able to string sentences together to talk to you guys, but it's great because I don't have to worry about that. Because the Tigers, for all the opportunities the Mariners squandered, and they squandered so many in this game, the Mariners finally were able to take a gift in Tommy Kahnle in the 15th inning and push across one measly run to win the game.
Dude, do you know how many people would have been hate listening to this episode if they had lost? All these people that are fans of other teams. But you know what? We ain't doing a second of that. This is 1,000% nothing but a celebration episode. And it should be nothing but that. It should be nothing but that. You have every reason to celebrate. I mean, after just 15 of the most painful innings I've ever watched in my entire life, the Mariners just find a way, man. They just find a way. Where do we, like, oh my God. I mean, first off, I have almost no voice left despite watching from home.
Can I just say this? It literally didn't even matter how you approached today. You and I approached today from totally different headspaces. And that was on purpose. I thought it would be great for us to try different things and see if it worked by chance. Once the first inning started, once that first pitch was thrown, I think I was in the same exact boat as Lyle was. I was a nervous wreck. Many of you saw my post this morning that I posted all over our socials where I'm like, you know what? I'm not ready for the Mariners season to end today. I was right. And I was being Mr. Positive. I was being Mr. Positive, and I'm trying to psych myself into being ready for this game. Once it got to first pitch, all that went out the window. I thought maybe not going to the game would help. Also, no, didn't. It was awful. I don't know what I would have done at the game. That would have been just unbelievably worse.
I would have gone into cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
If we were at that game, I might have not made it.
Yeah.
But let me say this. I'm going to take a victory lap here too. Because what did we do after the Game 4 podcast that we put out on Thursday all across social media? What did I say? Tarik Skubal was throwing a no-hitter with 19 punch-outs going 1 over the minimum on a drop third strike. You know what, everybody? Sometimes the reverse jinx just works. I had been so awful with all my Tarik Skubal predictions all year. I said, you know what? Why not one more time? Why not one more time let me be as wrong as I can be about Tarik Skubal? Now, he still was about as dominant as he's been all year, but when it's all said and done, the Mariners scratched across a run against them, a massive Mitch Garver sacrifice fly run against them, and ultimately they beat him. They beat the soon-to-be 2-time Cy Young winner 4 times this year. 4 and 2 in 1 playoff series. I just said it in our reaction on social media, and I'll say it right here too. If the Mariners go on to win the World Series, that is going to be all over that DVD. You know what we're going to be talking about 30 years from now? Saying, remember how the Mariners beat a potential Hall of Fame pitcher who was in the prime of his career and won back-to-back Cy Youngs 4 times and twice in a playoff series? I mean, that is going to get talked about forever. Forever. Even if they didn't light him up. Forever that's going to be talked about. You don't win 4 games against Tarik Skubal. And the Mariners just did.
Why did Tarik Skubal exit after 6 innings?
Oh, dude, now that we've calmed down, if we want to have some conversations about this, Tarik Skubal, look, maybe it's not fair to put any accusations out there. Tarik Skubal looked like he might have made a couple of business decisions in that Game 5. Because I know the stat was, and they talked about it on the broadcast, that he's never gone past 108 pitches. Wouldn't Game 5 be the game to go past 108 pitches and just go a CG, go complete game? That was really odd to be done after 99 pitches there.
Mariner fans probably don't want to hear this. If Tarik Skubal threw 8 innings of that game, the Mariners would be losers right now. They would have lost that game.
There's a decent chance. We'll put it like that. I guess you don't know what happens as his pitch count gets higher, but man, when you talk about a guy on a roll, nobody could touch him. It got to a point where he struck out 6 batters in a row, or maybe it was 7.
7.
Yeah.
Outside of a Josh Naylor check swing double and a Mitch Garver sacrifice fly, the Mariners didn't touch him tonight.
No.
And he exits in the 6th inning. I thought he had at least one more batter in him. But to get pulled in an elimination game, Game 5, where on your team and on the Mariners, guys are pitching in the game on their off day. Like, starters are throwing on days they should not be throwing normally to stay healthy. And Tarik Skubal gets pulled at 99 pitches? What?
I'm pretty sure it was 99. Here, I've got the box score up. Yeah, it was 99.
How is that possible? Dude, like you said, he could have gone CG, and I honestly don't think the Mariners score against him. And the Tigers win the game. Why did he get pulled? I'm not complaining, but I couldn't believe it. Either AJ Hinch, who's lauded as a playoff mastermind, and maybe he is. He's managed a ton of playoff games. Perhaps he had talked with Tarik Skubal about this before the start. Entirely possible. But man, if you're trying to win, you're trying to win a game? and that's what you do? Like, that's how you let the Mariners off the hook. And essentially piss away your advantage in some part.
I was going to say, if you let Tarik Skubal go out there and try to throw a complete game and he gives up runs and you lose, I feel like if you're the Tigers, then you just tip your cap and say, you know what? We threw the best pitcher in the world at these guys in a do-or-die Game 5, and we lost. We're going to throw our hands up and tip our cap. But yeah, man, the way he was rolling to just be done after 6, that was pretty crazy. That was really crazy.
Does it in terms of a team trying to win an elimination Game 5, the longest Game 5 ever that went 15 innings, and even if the Tigers had somehow scraped by in advance, you would have essentially screwed over your entire bullpen and your rotation to get to this point when you had Tarik Skubal with the ability to go 8 to 9 innings. This isn't like a George Kirby problem. You know why the Mariners pulled George Kirby today, guys? Because when the Mariners left George Kirby in too long in Game 1, he gave up a really crucial home run. And the Mariners were aggressive. Even though he was arguably pitching better today on a bigger stage, they decided to pull him before even worrying about a scenario like that. Tarik Skubal is not a guy you have to worry about it like that. Dude throws 101 miles an hour with the best changeup in baseball. You don't have to pull him for a lefty-righty split. That decision gets made by either Tarik or by the Tigers organization to take him out of the game. And from either's perspective, I cannot understand it. Even from Tarik, who's going to be a free agent after next year, is set to make $400 million. I cannot understand not wanting to go out there and win a Game 5. I don't get it. If that was the decision made from his side, I don't get it. If it was the Tigers, that's even worse.
Yeah, there's no way to know, but if you're asking us to just guess, that feels like there was a little bit of a business decision made.
Yeah,
to me.
Crazy.
Anyway, you know what? Tarik Skubal's the best in the world, and hat tip to him. He threw great. Let's talk about the Mariners. That's what people want to hear about. But let's talk about the Mariners, the team that's going to the AL freaking CS, who pulled out the win of their lives tonight. Where do you want to start?
Yeah. But before we get to that, let me read an ad here real quick. Let me tell you guys about our friends at Slim Goody. If you need a spot to watch the American League Championship Series, they've got you covered. You know what time it is. Mariners game day, whether you're riding high on that ALDS win or you're just there for cold drinks and good vibes, Slim Goody Sports Bar is the place to be for every pitch, every play, every Mariners moment. We've got everything, wall-to-wall TVs, booming sound, and the kind of energy that makes you feel like you're right there at T-Mobile Park. Grab a seat at the bar, kick back on the patio, or just post up in front of the big screens with Mariners fans who bleed blue and teal just like you. So come through to Slim Goody Sports Bar where the drinks stay cold, the food hits hard, and Mariners always have home field advantage. Follow at Slim Goody Sports Bar on Instagram for live game day coverage and for all the best moments from the weekend. Let's go, M's. Thank you to our friends at Slim Goody Sports Bar. They've been awesome to work with, along with all of our other wonderful partners, all celebrating here for a Mariners American League Championship Series appearance. Okay, can I highlight one more Tigers thing? Just quickly.
All right.
Same thought from Tarik Skubal getting pulled. The Tigers only let Troy Melton throw 1 inning in this game. Troy Melton carved the Mariners all series long, but he only got to throw 1 inning after throwing 35 pitches in Game 4. That I also didn't understand, but also another benefit to the Mariners because they could not touch him one lick.
No, not at all. I was more than happy to see Cater Montero and Jack Flaherty and Tommy Canley.
Oh, God.
Finally,
once Jack Flaherty and Tommy Canley got the game.
Well, even Cater Montero, that guy has not been good.
No. So there was no excuse after Troy Melton got pulled, and eventually they did do it. Okay, Mariners, Lyle. Mariners. We're back to the Mariners. Give me your biggest Mariners storyline from this game.
There's so many. Well, there's going to be a few to get to. I feel like I am going to have to sit here and address the elephant in the room after, letting out a tad or two of emotion after Game 1 when they did not go to Gabe Spire the third time through to face Kerry Carpenter. They did it tonight. It did not go as planned. And yes, I may have been getting owned a little bit online, even though, let me say this about the decision. It was still the right decision. That was the right decision. And we'll go back to all the numbers. Gabe Spire gives up a 500 OPS against lefties. He doesn't give up homers to lefties. Kerry Carpenter doesn't hit lefties. George Kirby's numbers against Carpenter are not good. Kirby third time through struggled. The matchup was right. Unfortunately, Gabe just did not throw a good enough pitch, and Carpenter got to it. Now, that is not the biggest storyline of this game. That's just what I figured I probably needed to start with because I've spent a lot of time in this series talking about that matchup from Game 1. And when it happened again in Game 5, unfortunately, Gabe did give up the homer. Now, in Game 2, he struck Carpenter out, and he got the job done. That was the right process, the right move. I know Kirby was dealing, again, and he was pitching phenomenally. We'll get to him. It was the right move. It, unfortunately, just was not good enough execution.
So this is where some of the other counter arguments of this, our friend Joe Doyle we were texting with before the game, I thought laid it out from the other perspective kind of well. He laid it out in one simple sentence. He said, baseball's not binary. You can't just, it's not black and white. And today did say that. I'm with you. I think going to Gabe in that situation was correct. Gabe has been one of the 5 best relievers in all of Major League Baseball this season. And George Kirby did everything you needed him to today. So there was no expectation with how Kerry Carpenter had hit this series that anyone besides Gabe Spire was going to throw to him. Unfortunately, the result didn't yield anything good. And ultimately, the lack of execution on that was, I think, off from the Mariners' game plan today. So Gabe attacks Kerry Carpenter with a heater middle, like as middle as you get, and Kerry parks it in the seats in center field. It's like, oh, this fucking guy. Like you said at the beginning, I'm so glad I don't have to see Kerry Carpenter again until when do the Mariners play the Tigers again? Hopefully like July of next year.
Oh, I think it's late. I think it's late in the year next year. Here, I'll pull up the schedule.
Oh, perfect. Don't have to see Kerry Carpenter again for months and months and months. And that makes me so unbelievably happy. But if you looked at the Mariners splits, Gabe Spire was the only pitcher in the entire Mariners staff who's throwing fastballs. It's him and Kirby. Kirby sprinkled in his sinker. He threw his sinker, it was overall 24% of the time. George Kirby on the day, listen to these stats, dog. 50% slider. 50% as a starter, like Lance McCullers level. Gabe was the only one who threw fastballs at that high of a rate. Next up, Matt Brash, 73% sliders. Did not throw a single fastball his entire appearance. 19 sliders, 7 changeups. Andres Munoz, 22 sliders, 3 fastballs. Logan Gilbert, 15 sliders, 14 splitters, 4 fastballs. Bizzardo did throw some more heaters. 11 sliders, 28% of the time. And Castillo threw some fastballs. But for the meat of that game, dog, the strategy was not to throw the Tigers a single fastball.
Yeah.
For the first 13 innings of the game. They were not allowed to see anything straight. And unfortunately, the one pitch that they see straight over the middle gets parked over the fence.
Yeah.
So if we're talking about execution, there's execution from a number of spaces. In Game 1, we thought it was execution of process. In this, it was execution of pitching game plan, which was clear and obvious. And the Tigers, by the way, did not hit sliders.
No.
One fastball accounted for all 2 of their runs.
Yeah. Okay. There's so many storylines to hit in this game. What's next? Should we just talk about Polo? We probably buried that for too long.
I want to talk about Leo, but we can talk about Polo first. That's his spot.
Yeah.
The most clutch hitter in baseball this entire season by Fangraphs. The most clutch. When they walked Julio, I was wondering what the hell the Tigers were doing.
They were trying to set up the double play.
Great. But a base hit either way loses them the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the situation was second and third, 1 out. Right? Do I have that right? Second and third, 1 out. Second, third, 2 outs.
1 out.
Regardless.
1 out.
1 out.
There was only one out when Polo walked it off.
Right. Okay. So it was either second and third, 1 out with Julio, or bases loaded, 1 out with Polanco at the plate. Julio Rodriguez, if my memory serves correctly, let me just throw a couple numbers at people. 4th least clutch player in baseball this season in Fangraphs' clutch metric. They use like win probability added, all these things, how you hit in high leverage, do you come through, do you drive in runs when your team needs it. Jorge Polanco is number 1 in that stat in the entire league. The most clutch player in baseball this season. So when the Tigers made that decision to walk Julio and face Polanco instead, even if they were trying to set up a double play, I thought was still a mistake, and Polanco made them pay. Battles in the at-bat, had not had a great game, not like his first game against Tarik Skubal before that. Battled to make the count full and came through. Like, this is what Polo does. Just grinds out on at-bat and comes up with a huge hit. Like, this is what 2025 Jorge Polanco has been. This guy right here.
You just feel confident as all hell with him at the plate. I wanted him to be the guy to end it. I'll tell you what, this could be a conversation for a different day. It needed to be Polo there because some of these Gino at-bats, some of these Gino at-bats in this series, they were like tough.
I think that's why it was like so important. I was worried what was going to happen if Polo somehow struck out there. Because I was not confident in Gino. I don't want to say Gino needs to get benched, but he's looked awful at the plate. I mean, overmatched against, it doesn't even matter who. It's not even just Tarik Skubal. It's overmatched against Troy Melton. It's overmatched against Jack Flaherty. Like, whoever the Tigers were throwing out there at him, it was not pretty. He had the one swing in Detroit, but otherwise, man, it has just been bad.
Really, really tough. I don't know if we see Ben Williamson at all in the ALCS. I have no idea. Hopefully Gino just makes some quick swing corrections in the next couple days and figures it out because they need him. He's got to have better at-bats than that. But again, you know what? Today's the wrong day to spend that much time focusing on that. It's more about when Polo stepped up in the clutch. He hadn't had a hit all night. I mean, he almost left the yard earlier in the game, again off Skubal, and I got all excited and jumped out of my seat, and it was just foul. But to come up clutch the way he did, man, that was so sick. And he is just so unfazed by all of it, too. He does not get fazed by those moments. That's the veteran in him. That's the 10 years of big league time in him. That's the totally professional hitter in him. Locked in as ever, clutches up.
Which is why I like him over Julio. Screw the stats. Just watch the at-bats when the two of them bat in a big spot. Julio sometimes expands. He flails. He gets too excited at the plate in a big moment. Polo doesn't. Like you said, it's right in line with his personality as a player. Calm, cool, collected, professional. And it showed in that at-bat. Like, he's not chasing. He's not expanding the zone to try and walk off. No, he's just taking what he gives them. If he wasn't going to get that hit there, he was going to walk and give the Mariners the win. Anyways, I think. The Polanco storyline's huge. But right up there with it, Lyle, has to be the fact that the Mariners went to Leo Rivas to tie the game in the 7th inning.
Dude, let's go. Friend of the pod, Leo Rivas. Let's go. That was sick.
The sequence of it is just insane. So you have... let me try and get this right. My mind has been through the fucking ringer today, man. So Garver's spot was due up. There was a righty on the mound. They bring Canzone off the bench. They bring a lefty in. And then they pull Canzone. They burn Canzone completely to bring Leo Rivas in. And I'm sitting in there on that moment. I'm like, you just burned like one of the 8 best hitters on your roster. Like that. Like if you do that with Canzone, in case anyone's not familiar, he cannot play the rest of the game. He's out.
Yeah, so just to make it clear, Garver steps up. Garver was due up. They take Garver out. They announce Canzone as the pinch hitter. And once you announce a guy as a pinch hitter entering the game, he's in. It doesn't work in a way where he has to see a pitch before he is qualified to be in the game. No, if you announce him as the pinch hitter, he's in. So they announce him as the pinch hitter. AJ Hinch starts to play chess. He goes out. He goes and gets the lefty. He brings, it was Tyler Holton, I think, into the game. He brings Tyler Holton into the game. And then once Holton comes in, Dan Wilson counters and says, you know what? I'm not going to have Canzone hit left on left. He took a gamble. And he said, okay, we're going to burn Dom here. We're going to go get Leo Rivas because he's the better matchup for Tyler Holton. And Leo Rivas, man, absolutely clutches the hell up and ropes that ball to left field to tie the game.
Dude, that takes some balls. Like, I love Leo. To trust him in that moment of the game. There are less than 9 outs left in your season.
I mean, Leo's hit really well when he's been asked to hit.
He has. To save the season?
I know.
Insane. It worked out. That's great. That's all that matters at this point. Because there would be people, there's even me sitting here thinking about this. I was like, well, Canzone does hit lefties. Like, that's not a problem for him. It's not as good, but he still does hit lefties.
Well, average-wise, he'll squeak out some singles. He doesn't hit for much authority versus lefties. The OPS is not high.
Didn't need authority. Just need a base hit. Just like Leo. Just need a base hit. That's it.
He looked good up there. And that at bat, he really looked good.
He did. And he put a great swing on that ball. Like, these are the little contributors that you need to win these games, Lyle. This is the Joey Cora, Luis Soho moments.
Where if the Mariners win the World Series, again, I talk about how beating Tarik Skubal 4 times will be all over that DVD. Guarantee you, Leo Rivas is going to be a part of that DVD because, again, he strikes out there. We're sitting here dejected on this podcast.
Where do we want to go? Do we want to go to pitchers now?
We should
Any more
probably
hitters you want to highlight?
I was going to say we should probably give all the starters some serious love, and we should probably start
I have one more hitter, actually. Sorry. Josh Naylor.
Dude.
I mean, come on.
That
check swing double was one of the most electric things I've ever seen. And then stealing third off of Skubal.
I'll say it again. There are literally this many excuses for those watching on YouTube. I'm holding up a 0. I'll say it for people listening. 0 excuses to not bring Josh Naylor back. He has to be back here. He has to be a long-term plan. He cannot be in another uniform. He cannot. He is too important. The clubhouse likes him too much. He's meant too much to the team in such a short amount of time. He cannot go anywhere else. You have got to keep him here.
And shouts to Mitch Garver, too.
Again,
gets the start against a lefty, the best lefty in the league, has one job to do. 1, produce something offensively. Don't strike out. Do some net positive against Tarik Skubal. The one opportunity he got, he came through. It was a huge run that the Mariners do not win this game without.
Again, some people get mad when they see Garver in the lineup and they don't look at the matchups all the time. Not everybody, just some people. You see it online sometimes. But guys, that's why he's in there. I'm not saying Garver absolutely destroys lefties. I'm not saying he's Babe Ruth against lefties, but he hits lefties perfectly well. That's why he was in there today. And just like Leo Rivas, I'll say it about Mitch Garver. Mitch Garver doesn't do that. We're sitting here talking about a loss. Yeah. Mitch Garver, it feels like eons ago at this point. It feels like it was literally in a different era of the earth that Mitch Garver hit that sac fly because so much time's passed since then till right now. But if Mitch Garver does not do that, the Mariners are going to Cabo right now if Mitch Garver doesn't hit that sac fly.
No,
that was so clutch, and it 100%. Mattered so much. That's why he was in there.
100%. I do want to talk about these Mariners starters, but before we talk about them, you want to get to an ad.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about our friends over at Pagacci's Pub 85. You guys know it's this awesome spot in Kirkland. There's great food, awesome drinks. There's things like pool, darts. There's a jukebox in the place. There's 20 TVs for all the sporting events that you're going to want to watch. It's all there for you. It's a really fun spot to hang out. It's a really cool neighborhood bar here over in the Kirkland area. So if you're interested in some great happy hour specials, well, they've got $3 and $4 drinks during happy hour from 2 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Those are awesome deals. So you can check it all out at Pagacci's Pub 85 in Kirkland.
Logan Gilbert and Luis Castillo out of the bullpen deserve every bit of credit you could possibly ask. Really, I mean, every Mariners bullpen arm that came in after Gabe Spire, in some which way possible, were enormous in keeping this close. The difference between what the Mariners were offering out of their bullpen and the Tigers were offering out of theirs, and the ultimate difference in extra innings, is that the drop-off was not as significant, if there was any drop-off at all, between the arms coming in. I think it was pretty clear, again, as soon as Troy Melton went out for the Tigers, Detroit had this huge drop in pitcher effectiveness and their ability to miss bats. The Mariners, man, I mean, they go from Brash and Munoz, who are insane and great and put in high pressure and had to throw a lot, and they chewed through it, no problem. 2 innings for Brash, inning and a third for Munoz. And then here comes Logan. His first ever relief appearance out of the bullpen was disgusting. Wipes through the Tigers. And then Edward Bizzardo comes out and doesn't just throw 2 innings like Logan Gilbert. He throws 2 2/3 innings. Strikes out 4 Tigers.
I mean, when he went back out there for his 3rd inning of work, man, I was getting nervous. I was like, this is a lot of pitches to make Edward Bizzardo throw. I was worried he didn't have that much left in the tank, and who could blame him? He was a reliever who'd thrown 2 great innings already. Mm-hmm. But he stuck through it, man. And then, again, when the time came and they needed to get him out of the game after the Dylan Dingler double, they went to Luis Castillo, who, again, just chalk it up. It's a theme. Stepped the hell up.
Yeah.
He got in there, was unfazed, and shut it down.
Mm-hmm. And only threw 15 pitches. So, as we have a guess on the ALCS Game 1 starter, I believe it's Bryce Miller. And I think the words from Jerry Dipoto are Bryce Miller and friends, to put the exact quote.
Oh, has he already said that?
I think so. They said it on the postgame.
Well, I'll tell you this. We will get a little more into some ALCS talk here in a few minutes. I'll tell you who I think is now going to be on the roster is our guy Logan Evans.
Yeah.
I can't confirm that. I don't know for sure. But you look at that Game 1, the Mariners are going to need innings. They are really going to need innings in Game 1. Because even Bryce Miller is only going to be on 3 days rest. He will not be on full rest. So you pair that with the fact that I don't know how Edward Bizzardo could possibly be available for Game 1 after throwing 40 pitches and throwing in every game of the Tigers series. I am guessing he will be down for that game. The other guys will probably be available, but regardless, if Bryce only goes 3, even 4, you've got to cover some innings. And yeah, Emerson Hancock could do some of that, but they may view Emerson as a 1-inning guy at this point, where Logan Evans can throw in some bulk. Mm-hmm. I would not be shocked at all to see Logan Evans on the ALCS roster.
And you just swap him out for Luke Jackson. And
right.
Luke Jackson, he threw once in this series.
Yeah, in mop-up duty. So, yeah.
So you could put Logan Evans in there. And now Logan's not going to get some glamorous position. They need outs, frankly. When you have a 15-inning game before Game 1 of the ALCS, you are going to need innings. You're going to need outs. Now, there's going to be some other things the Mariners are going to need to do to win that game and win that series. We can talk about that in a little bit. But yes, I see a definitely door opening for Logan Evans, especially to pitch there in Game 1. Why I brought up Luis's pitch count, because I would almost guarantee he starts Game 2. Almost certainly.
Yeah.
And then you could do, I'll get to the injury news here in a second that Jerry Dipoto also talked about. But then you could do Logan Game 3 and Woo or Kirby Game 4.
Well, hopefully by Game 4, Brian Woo's ready.
Yeah. And that gives you options. Then the next time you come around the rotation, Bryce Miller's not starting. So Kirby starts, and then you'd flip back around to Castillo.
Yeah, and then it would essentially go like this. If the series were to go 7 games, I think it would look like this, tentatively. Bryce Game 1, Castillo Game 2, Gilbert Game 3. If he's ready to go, Brian Woo Game 4. Game 5 would be Kirby. Game 6 would be Castillo. Game 7 would be,
Logan and everyone else.
Oh, Logan and Woo, probably. I bet you Woo throws a decent amount of innings if Logan throws Game 7. Something like that.
Right.
So.
But that news is great to hear. Because the Mariners think of what the Mariners did this series. They beat the best pitcher in baseball twice without their best pitcher.
Crazy. Look, man, you said the Mariners could win a series without Brian Woo. They did. It took everything to win that series, but they did win a series without Brian Woo. You did also say they can't win a World Series without him, and that is true. He threw a bullpen here before Game 5. Hopefully that means he's on the right track and he's getting close. We don't know exactly what the situation is going to be, but they're going to have to make a decision on the roster for the ALCS, which cannot be changed unless there's an injury. So I bet you Brian Woo's put on the roster. Will he be ready? We'll see. I bet you at least for the potential, he's put on the roster. So
Do you have anything else with this series, or should we talk some Blue Jays?
Yeah, let's do one more thing. Because, okay, I think we've hit on a lot. We've hit on Polanco, we've hit on Garver, we've hit on Rivas, we've hit on all the pitchers. Well, I mean, we didn't really give enough credit to George Kirby. Let's do that for a second, who was dominant for 5 innings. Again, they pulled him in the right spot. But going up against the best in the world in Tarik Skubal, Kirby absolutely dealt. Pitch count was low, wasn't working into trouble, absolutely punching guys out. I mean, he was nails. Yeah. Nails.
Everything you wanted from him. Better. He was good in game 1. He was better now.
Yeah, he was.
He's better in game 5.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I don't even know how much there's to say about him other than you kind of talked about it already. He was not front hipping a lot of two-seamers. He was throwing a lot of sliders, and he was throwing a lot of off-speed. It was clearly the plan. He executed it. The rest of the staff executed it, and it worked.
He's not faced. That dude's a big game pitcher. He's not faced. I mean, we've gotten now 3 starts from him in the postseason, and he's been fucking on it every single time.
And add in 1 inning out of the bullpen to close out a wild card series.
Mm-hmm.
Nails.
It's safe to say they made the right decision starting him instead of bringing him out of the bullpen. I think that was the right call.
No doubt.
Based off of what we saw.
Yeah. The last thing, and then we can get to some ALCS talk. Look, we have been as critical of him, especially in this series, as you can probably draw up. We were not happy with how game 1 went, but we got to give credit to Dan Wilson, man. He really managed his ass off in that game. Every right button was pushed, even the Gabe Spire thing. Again, right process, result wasn't great. Dan pushed every right button in this game. Again, to have the guts to pull out Canzone and go to Rivas, and then to go to Brash when you did after Kirby and Spire, and have Brash throw nearly 30 pitches. And then go to Munoz, who, by the way, was a little shaky to get that final out of the 8th. And I thought once that happened, I thought to myself, I don't know if he has it tonight. They may just go to Logan right here. No, Dan wanted to get another inning out of Munoz. He got it. Then went to Logan for 2 in the 10th, and then goes to Bizzardo, and then goes to Castillo. I mean, every guy was placed in every perfect spot, and he made the right decisions off the bench with the pinch hitters. Hell of a hat tip to him, because he seriously managed a hell of a game. He outmanaged AJ Hinch, who is a mastermind of an in-game manager. He's always on this stuff. Dan Wilson outmanaged him, and serious credit and tip of the cap to him.
There were some instances in this series where Dan Wilson left his guys in too long, and there were some instances where some people think that he pulls guys too quickly or makes pinch hitting calls too quickly. Today was the right balance. Like every call you said on the pitching side, yeah. And then the Leo Rivas thing. He was right.
Yeah.
They're right. You push that button to get a result. And what was the result? Oh, the Mariners won.
Yeah.
There you go.
Leo tied the game.
It.
Leo tied the game. Yeah.
Yep. Boom.
Yeah.
So shout out to Dan Wilson. That was great. I loved seeing the video of him after. He clearly was feeling it throughout that game. I think he was just as stressed as the rest of us, as he should be. The camera was on him as that ball gets hit into the outfield. He's jumping up into the air, hands in the air like this, 2 hands up, giving everyone big hugs, celebrating. You could hear it in his voice in the post game. It was great. It was really, really good stuff. Everyone's having a good time. Really.
Yeah.
See, Lyle and I are sitting here at 12. It's now 12:10 in the morning on Saturday, recording this podcast. I think the rest of Seattle is out getting belligerently drunk right now.
And if we didn't have a podcast to get out for all the people, we'd probably be out too.
Probably.
I mean, listen, we're dead on energy, but it's a hell of a night to celebrate. Let me tell you
Nothing a little
what.
Red Bull can't fix.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I mean, I was ready to throw up for over 2 days. And every inning that game kept dragging on, I felt physically unwell. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, by extra innings, 11th, 12th, 13th, etc., my legs hurt. Legitimately, felt sore. My arms are shaking. I had a headache. I still felt like I was going to throw up. I was physically unwell watching that game. Man, when Polo ended it, every just piece of positive emotion just absolutely pouring through me and stress relieved, and it was amazing. Everybody's floating on air tonight, as they should be.
And I was the opposite pregame, but during the game, Lyle and I were both in hell.
Just, man, it's just the fact it was Tarik Skubal. If it had been anybody else for the Tigers, maybe we would have felt a little different. It's just the fact it was Skubal had such this cloud hanging over. But man, did they take it to him? Did they do just enough to send themselves into the, I can't stop saying it, ALCS. They're one of the 4 final teams standing, along with the Dodgers, the Blue Jays, and one of the Cubs or Brewers. We'll see on Saturday.
Let's talk a little bit about the Blue Jays. We touched on them a little bit before the postseason started. Here's my broad overview of the Toronto Blue Jays before we dive in a little deeper. They crush at the plate. Their pitching is kind of mid, both starters and bullpen. Where would you like to go specifically off of here? I'll just note for their series, they had a pretty good hitting series against the Yankees and pretty easily outclassed them in 4 games. The Blue Jays scored 10, 13, 6, and 5 runs in 4 games. Pretty easily.
Vladdy looks red hot right now. Red hot. I mean, he had a hell of a series. Capped off with an all-time quote on the Fox post-game show. The Yankees lose. Yeah, Vladdy's pretty locked in right now. So that is going to be a tough battle. Do we have a Bo Bichette status yet?
I was just about to look.
Meanwhile, while you're looking, even past Vladdy, George Springer's hit like an MVP this year. He's not going to win the MVP, but he's hit like it. He's got a 959 OPS. He's got a 165 OPS plus. And like TJ said, whole lineup mashes. I mean, Kirk's had a great year. You don't need me to tell you about everybody. Yeah. Well, Clement's been okay, but I think he just had a good postseason. I think he just had a good ALDS, if I have that right. But anyway, Varsho's
all that matters now.
Varsho's hit, and Davis Schneider's hit, and again, Springer's hit like an MVP, and Addison Barger's had a good year. That is a tough lineup to go against. But again, if you're going to get to the Blue Jays, it's going to be a little different than the Tigers, where the Blue Jays will not have a Tarik Skubal. There's not going to be an ace just hanging over you like a dark cloud that you have to worry about every time out. Not to say they don't have good pitchers. Kevin Gausman, can dial it up. You know that somebody like Shane Bieber can dial it up, even if his playoff outing wasn't great. They are going to have good pitchers. They just don't have that elite ace. So in that way, it will be a little different for the Mariners than having to face Tarik Skubal.
And they don't really have the depth either. Their second best pitcher in this playoff rotation is a rookie, Trey Savage. He's pitching in college last year.
Well, he's been really
the guy
good.
We wanted.
I know that is going to be a fascinating story to watch over the next few years, the Jurangelo versus Trey Savage, because the Mariners said they wanted Jurangelo, who, look, had a really good year. But it'll just be an interesting story to watch. Story for another day, though. Point being, for the Blue Jays, you're likely going to see Gausman. You will see Bieber. You will see a Savage, likely, and probably one other.
Maybe, but the Blue Jays threw a bullpen game in Game 4 against the Yankees.
Which is weird, because, again, Bassett, Berrios.
So they didn't have Bassett for that round.
Is he hurt?
I think so.
Let's see. And Berrios hasn't been great. I know.
And neither, Bieber lasted 2 2/3 innings in that game against the Yankees.
Bassett and Berrios are on the IL. So you're right. It's going to be Gausman. It's going to be Savage. It's going to be, after that. Sorry. Shane Bieber. Those 3, and then we'll see.
We'll see how good Shane Bieber is. Remember, this is Shane Bieber coming off of Tommy John. And again, in that first playoff start, he wasn't great. How's the Savant page look?
And while you're looking at that, the Blue Jays bullpen, I'd say it's similar to the Tigers. They don't have anybody in that bullpen that is just a dog. Oh, you got something?
Hard hit rate of almost 50% this year. Wow. Yeah, not good. It has not been perfect for Shane Bieber this year. A lot of blue.
No. Yeah.
Gets hit hard, barreled a lot. He does get a lot of ground balls. Still strikes out a solid amount of batters. Gets a solid amount of whiff, but he gets hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
So the depth of this Blue Jays rotation and bullpen are really not it's not very good. What the Blue Jays do have an advantage of is rest. The Mariners are going to be taxed as hell going into that game 1. The Blue Jays are not. That's going to level the playing field a little bit. And unfortunately, in a 7-game series, you can't just wait to game 3 to watch that even out. Like the Mariners in those first 2 games are going to need to make their offense to make up the gap in rest from the Mariners pitching staff to the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Blue Jays have been off since Wednesday.
There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt. But then you start to look at the Blue Jays bullpen, as we've already highlighted their starters, and it's similar to the Tigers, I feel like, where they have some arms that are good. They don't have anybody that's absolutely going to scare you either. So when you look up and down, well, their bullpen was a lot better when the Mariners saw them in Seattle earlier in the year. A lot of guys were pitching better at that point than where it is now. Braden Fisher's been good. Brennan Little's been good. Yariel Rodriguez has been good. But, again, like Jeff Hoffman was their closer this year. He had a tough year. Mason Fluharty was throwing well earlier in the year. He had a tough year. It's not the world's most perfect bullpen. There are weak spots. And there's nobody in that bullpen that is overly dominant. Again, there are guys that are good, like Fisher, like Little, like some others, but not overly dominant. The key with the Blue Jays here, it's going to be the exact opposite of the Tigers, where it is going to be a lineup that is really long and really good. And the Mariners are going to have to lock in very, very much so to go toe-to-toe with those guys. Now, hopefully the offense can muster some more runs off, again, a rotation that's not as strong as having to see Skubal twice in 5 games and a bullpen that's probably similar to what the Tigers is. But, yeah, offense is the key. Shutting down the Blue Jays offense is the key.
I will not be saying the Blue Jays lineup is full of bums like I did with the Tigers.
Well, I would hope not.
Yeah. That's going to be a big key difference for me. That is it right there. Like the stress will be swapped from facing Skubal to how the Mariners are going to get the final 9 outs of a game they lead.
Yeah.
The Tigers, no problem. Like Parker Meadows coming up to the plate, it's like he's not getting a hit.
Yeah.
So,
I want to.
There's the one last key difference of this series, Lyle. Mm-hmm. Maybe we need a Gate 14 Marine Layer Pod Battle Royale.
Oh, I was going to
say a tiebreaker.
I was going to save the tweet till the morning. We can put it out in the morning. But are we ready for an ALCS to go back and forth with our friends over at Gate 14 and Johnny Junta and Avery Chenier? Are we ready for all that?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, Johnny is.
We've never gotten any meaningful games against Johnny Junta.
Well, that's not true. The 2022 AL wildcard game.
Well, we didn't exist.
That's true. We didn't exist, and I think Gate 14 was very early on, if I remember that. If I remember that right, into that point. But, Johnny is going to be unhinged during this series. Unhinged.
Gonna have to chirp him. Also, I want to give a shout out to our friend Troy up in BC, who always makes sure to let us know whenever there's some Mariners Blue Jays overlap. He's been on our social channels every time the Blue Jays come, except for this year. Every single time the Blue Jays are here in town, and the first person to send us a message out of everyone we know as soon as that walk-off hit, Troy.
Yep.
Very first.
Saying that the Mariners are bums. See you guys in the series. Also, I just looked it up. I was pretty sure that I was right with this, and the numbers back it up. By bullpen ERA this year, the Tigers' bullpen sits at 17th in the league. Blue Jays sit at 16th. So pretty similar bullpens where they're very average.
Okay. Well, good to know.
Very average. And in terms of K per 9, so the Blue Jays are going to strike a lot of guys out in the bullpen, but they will give up some runs.
Speaking of strikeouts, that lineup strikes out the least of any lineup in baseball.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough series. The Blue Jays are very good. There's a reason they're the 1 seed. There's a reason their offense is absolutely loaded. It's going to be a tough series. But you know what, man? The Mariners are here. They made it. They're in. They did it, and they've got a chance to go to the World fucking Series. They've got a chance.
Finally feels real. Finally.
I can't believe we're sitting here doing this. I still can't.
Before we sign off here, dog, what's your gut feeling on this series?
I think the Mariners are really going to have to come to play. They are behind with their rotational schedule. They had to use a lot of guys to get here. Like you said, game one is going to be a dogfight and having to find a way to cover some innings and also keep yourself in the game. But if they can pitch, they've got a chance. And also, look, for as good as the Blue Jays offense has been, the Mariners, we know, are a talented offensive team. And they just had a really, really tough offensive series. Shouldn't some of that swing back their way at some point?
Yeah, you'd think so.
Are they due for a couple of good offensive games? I would hope so.
Most of those stats we lauded the Blue Jays for in terms of scoring, the Mariners are up there too. Like, the Mariners were a top 5 offense in the league this year.
Yeah. Look, the Blue Jays are a really good team. This series will not be easy. But it doesn't mean the Mariners can't hang with them. That's how I'm feeling. I think the Blue Jays will probably be favored, and rightfully so. But the Mariners can hang with them.
And if any of you remember from the wild card series, playing at the Rogers Center can be hell. It's loud in there. So the guys gotta stay focused. It's not that Detroit crowd. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I was not that impressed by the Detroit crowd.
I was not either.
Oh man, and people were pissed off in Detroit about our take that they need a roof. They were
Did you go back and reply to any of them now?
I'm about to. I didn't want it to get in the way of some of our other social posts, but tomorrow morning I might do a couple.
Did you notice there was one dude, one Tigers fan with like 32,000 followers who didn't like the fact I posted something optimistic about the Mariners this morning?
Oh, I saw.
This guy's guaranteeing a Mariners win. So I made sure to circle back.
Here's something we've never gotten to do as Mariners fans. Dunk on other fan bases. We're usually the laughing stock. And now we can actually rightfully dunk on other fan bases.
And now we got 2, the Astros and the Tigers. Let's make it a third, the Blue Jays.
Oh, again, our buddies over at Gate 14 are going to be something else in this series. I know it. But anyway, I cannot wait. And we got a quick turnaround. Game 1 of the ALCS is on Sunday. So everybody take a day and a half to get ready. Well, they'll be right back at it on Sunday night.
Sleep tomorrow.
Yes, I know I will. I need it very bad. Oh, I hope everybody's celebrating. Everybody deserves this one so much. Everybody. So this was about as fun a podcast as I think we've ever recorded. And I hope it's about as fun of a one as you've ever listened to. Because
So far.
Because right now the vibes couldn't be higher in the city of Seattle. Shout out to Jorge Polanco. Nobody better let that man buy his own meal for a long time. Anywhere.
Yeah.
All right. That just about wraps up this edition of the Marine Layer Podcast. You guys know the drill. You want to listen to the full form podcast, you can do so wherever you get your audio pods. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit subscribe. It really does help the channel. Also, leave a like and drop a comment. If you're listening, go download these episodes. Leave a 5-star review when you rate and review. Same thing. It really helps the channel a bunch. Everything's on our website, marinelayerpod.com. Go get your merch, you guys. Come on. It's such a fun time to be a Mariners fan. We've got all this podcast merch that we love seeing people wear around.
And if you want merch right now, code MarineLayer. 20% off.
20% off. Perfect
Sounds
time.
pretty good.
It's an awesome time to buy in on this stuff. So we'd love to see you guys wearing your merch. Anyway, that Patreon live show schedule, it's all over at marinelayerpod.com, and you can follow us all across social media at marinelayerpod. That's TJ. I'm Lyle. As always, we thank you guys for tuning in. Go M's, and we'll talk to you soon.